All right, I'd like to say welcome to you, Liberians at home in Liberia and here in the diaspora. Welcome to a brand new edition of the program Diaspora Talk with me, Cyrus McGee, and my colleague Nathan Charles. Today is Wednesday, it's the first day of May 2024. And I tell you, this is the first edition of Diaspora Talk for the month of May. Let's take our team song. When we come back, trending national issues affecting Liberia. We will be discussing, and we're hoping to have as our guest today on today's edition of the program, Colonel Abraham Kroma. He's the head of the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency. The war on drug is on the lips of everyone, and he will be talking to us about that and other national security issues as well. Don't go away. Let's take the team song. We will be right back.
When the issues of Liberia hit the news,
what is it that we, the Liberian people, want?
The Liberian communities in the diasporas are not left out. That's why Diaspora Talk is back on your screens on KMTV.
in fact, the United Party is not cohesive. Be it social, political, economic, and other issues affecting Liberia and the diaspora Liberian communities.
I did not expect to even make it to Hollywood.
Join Cyrus McGee and Nathan Charles every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, live on KMTV, Facebook, and YouTube.
I want to be arrested in the midst of my people.
As they discuss the issues, blend the voices from Liberia and the diaspora Liberian communities.
The Liberian Business Association in the diaspora should be used as a vehicle for economic development in Liberia because no country can develop without a diaspora impact.
For sponsorship, call some numbers 612-806-5896, 816-433-3979, or better still, email us at usakmtv@gmail.com.
Diaspora Talk. Don't miss out.
I tell you, don't miss out every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on the Diaspora Talk here on KMTV. We're coming to you live and direct from our studios here in Brooklyn Center, Minnesota, from where we sit and broadcast. My colleague, Nathan Charles, is here with me on this afternoon's edition of the Diaspora Talk. Nathan, welcome, and you caught up there.
I tell you,
You are caught unaware.
Yeah,
and I see you just strolling through, looking at the latest development and all of that. It's good to have you on this first edition for the month of May.
Yeah, things happen in Liberia every second, so you gotta be abreast with the happenings as we speak. River G is playing in the national county meet. We've been hearing the though not a lot of supporters at the SKD this moment, but people waiting for the most exciting game. As you know, President Joseph Boakai has been talking tough for the first time since he took over as president of Liberia. As to whether his decision is logical, we will get to know that. The national budget finally passed, so some people are happy. Maybe they have some undercuts in the national budget. We try to look at what's there for the education, agriculture, health. His agenda was there for the agenda of the Joseph Boakai leadership. We've seen new appointments in government. People are still taking offices, and a lot of things ongoing from the executive to the legislature and the judiciary. A lot of transformation and new people taking offices. We saw our own media colleague Cecilia Clark, and the issue with the DA boss, deputy boss is out there engaging. We call it our challenge youth. Zogos, we call them, about the danger of drugs and other substances and programs to roll on. So there are a lot of things happening. Some people are sad and some people are happy.
So that's it right there. Some people are happy while others are sad, and across Liberia, a lot of different things. My team, Grand Bassa County, is currently, taking on
your
River G.
When I hear posting my team, how many support have you given? Just be yelling.
I give my support.
Just be yelling.
I can tell you how and when, but we don't just blow our horns, but we make sure we contribute to whatever the team is doing. And I tell you, like we announced earlier on, we're hoping to have Ibrahim Kroman, the director of the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency. AB Kroman will be joining us later on this edition of the program. And the police spokesman has signed a serious warning to those.
Spokesperson.
Not spokesperson, but IG.
IG, okay.
I'm thinking about the spokesperson who also spoke this morning. The new spokesperson in person of Cecilia Train. Still spokesperson. You know, he says is our spokesman or spokeswoman or spokesperson. That's the right nomenclature. But she's unit 122. Congratulations to Cecilia. But let's start up with President Joseph Newman Boyka. President Boyka today announced to the country where he's at as it relates to his first 100 days in office as president of the Republic of Liberia. There are several key things he talked about in his address to the nation today, including information technology, the issue of rural connectivity, agriculture, amongst others. So we will play you an excerpt of the president's address to the country on his first 100 days in office. What are those deliverables he's targeting already, he and his team, and what are some of the things Liberians stand to benefit? If you did not listen, we'll play you an essay, but later on we'll have the entire video, on our page where you can follow. But for the sake of the program, let's bring you excerpt of President Joseph Newman Boyka, the president of the Republic of Liberia.
Today, I am pleased to report to a hopeful nation on the state of our country over the past 100 days, including progress made, some of the challenges confronting us, and setting long-term development goals to improve the living standard of Liberians in the coming years. Fellow citizens, given the urgency to provide immediate relief to millions of Liberians during the first quarter of the year, my government had launched a 100-day development plan. In this plan, we considered addressing urgent needs by intervening in critical sectors. These interventions, implemented by the various ministries, agencies, and commissions, were informed by the following key objectives. The first, the need to ensure accountability in the public sector was a major objective underpinning service delivery in the first 100 days. Therefore, addressing transparency and accountability in the public sector by undertaking robust and grab measures, including strengthening financial oversight and promoting ethical practices across all sectors to combat corruption, was seen as a critical step to removing barriers. Second, as citizens of this country continue to be confronted with the seemingly perennial problems of poor roads and accessibility, addressing the infrastructure needs was a priority objective of this plan. Focusing on the maintenance of major roads, corridors, improving sanitation service, providing critical meteorological equipment, and upgrading ICT systems at the only international airport in the country was considered a major attempt of bringing relief to the citizens. Third, addressing two fundamental issues consequential to the future of our country in terms of expanding educational opportunities and combating the drug and substance abuse scourge was an important objective to bolster this plan. My government, therefore, saw under this plan the need to support education for struggling students and implement interventions to rescue at-risk youth overtaken by a drug epidemic. Fourth, policy changes aim at improving economic development were a fundamental objective of this plan. In this quarter, initial reforms and capacity building in agriculture, tourism, and commerce were seen as building blocks for our long-term economic development. Pivotal to the 100-day development plan was the need to introduce key legislations crucial to our governance process and to the promotion of potential growth foreign tourism sector. In these past 100 days, and despite limited resources, we were able to make significant gains against interventions we set out in various sectors. It is important to mention that what will be outlined in the address is by no means exhaustive, as a full report on the deliverables for the first 100 days of my administration will be released to the public in future. The agriculture sector. We have taken major steps to boost agriculture as a cornerstone of our economic development. Among other measures taken, we have completed a national agriculture development plan, which will be ready for validation in the next 2 weeks. In addition, a critical intervention to ensure we achieve our goal of reducing rice importation by 70% started this quarter with the acquisition and cultivation of 2,000 hectares of land in Bong, Lofa, and Nimba counties. To date, the Ministry of Agriculture has begun the cultivation of 1,000 hectares of lowland at Fuama Multi-Purpose Corporation in Bong County. In addition, the government has launched and started the cultivation of the University of Liberia farms in Fendel, which is aimed at feeding students, generating income, and for practical training and research.
President Joseph Newman Boyka there speaking earlier today when he touched on those he earmarked as part of his 100 days deliverables for Liberia as president of the republic. And Nathan, you listened to him. I know you've been taking key points into what he talked about, the issue of information technology for the RIA, rural connectivity, agriculture, education, amongst others. You listened to him well.
The first thing is the issue of sanitation, where he spoke about Monrovia or other parts of Liberia is really filthy. When the country, the people are not enjoying fresh air, sicknesses, malaria, typhoid, all of these things has effect. If I saw what the LWSC did, the sewage, when you see what's on the ground,
in and around
Monrovia, you get sick to your stomach. The garbage. So the Monrovia MCC was what they have to do. Even at the hospital, the health facility, most of them are filthy. How can they transform sanitation? It starts from in the community, our homes, then to other areas. Even a government facility, bathrooms are not accessible. You was
Capitol building was still tilting bucket of water at Capitol building, and those are things that are paramount. They are key. You know, the issue of they talk about. Let's stick with sanitation for a bit. Capitol Hills, where those 103 people sit, lawmakers, 73 from the lower house, 30 from the upper house. Their staffers taking bucket. I don't know whether it's still continuing whether they have been any change. Still taking bucket of water, to their bathrooms. It's the speaker. They got. I saw Barra sitting speaker water, speaker bathroom water. protein bathroom water
in this modern world.
in this modern world.
Then you go to right behind the executive mansion, the Slipway, the Sony Wing, the Busse Quarter, the West Point, the Clareton, the Nuclear Town, where flies, people are eating roasted fish, color. So that just sanitation, lot is we have to do a lot.
A
Then
lot
now
we have to work with.
You go to education. Our young people, they are not obtaining the required education. People in 12th grade up to college, they do not even know, they do not have access to computer. They're still using sheets to write notes and other things. You give them tablets and stuff like that. At least with the cell phones now introducing cell phones and other things,
students can easily get online, and
again, it's difficult.
Access to internet connectivity. That's a key. That's a key thing again.
I know my daughter. She will call me. Hey, can you get on the internet and do my assignment? This thing, because even if you have data, the access to strong internet connectivity is a major thing. The issue of information technology, the war is global now. Nobody will succeed without having access or knowledge
to internet,
to IT, information technology. Like you say, in schools, everything now is digital. People online learning, and you got to have computer. You got to know about Excel, Publisher, QuickBooks, videos. You got to know all of that. That's just one.
And he made a specific mention to that for the RIA. In this modern day and age, your international guests are coming through your only international airport. Look at what we have. The issue of digitizing the airport, making sure that technology is working there. In other countries, I don't want to say America, because right now they are even testing just scan and go at the airports over here. Scan and go, just stay at the machine. You are already scanning and going through the process. But that would be a huge gain if that could work for RIA to make sure that technology is taken to the next level. People can sit right there on a kiosk and do what they want to do, check in and all of that.
That's why it requires city planning. I mean, do we not have a planner for our country? What's going on? Do they listen when they're crafting the budget for these institutions? Do they have a planner for 5 years? What is the plan for
projection?
What's the plan for the RIA in the next 4 or 5 years? It will not be the same. What's the plan for commerce? What's the plan for agriculture? So we need a city planner. We need a government planner. And Ministry of Lands, Mines, and Energy, all the areas need to have planners who will plan their activities. The issue of agriculture cannot be overemphasized. We'll delve into the budget.
He struck a lot on agriculture, what government is doing so far, Bong and other counties, Lufa, making sure that he wants that Liberia will cut down the importation of its major and stable food as rice. So if you pick 2-3 counties, put money into mechanized farming in the next 2 years or less, it will work. We see this guy, Armstrong Jabba, who's doing his agriculture project in Liberia. He has rice on the market, but not at a larger level. So that's where now the government stepping up, making sure that those machines are purchased, the right, education is put into our farmers, the monies are put into what they need. I mean, we will be able to have rice sufficiently on the market, and our rice is sweet, is well, if it is well processed, people will want to have that, other than the importing rice on a larger scale. We know how many dollars that we are government pump into subsidizing rice importers. At one point, we heard about some $11 million, telling them just to keep your price at this level. But I think there's a strong play indeed that, fighting and making sure that the system is put into place that our farmers can get to work. That's a key thing for me. I think everyone needs to have something doing. Government ministers, even lawmakers need to have their farms. Agriculture break, or they change it from agriculture break because a lot of them don't want to have farms. They change it to constituent break. But everybody should have something, that they can go to and pick a little pepper, pick a little bitter butter. You don't have to import pepper from Guinea. It was happening on a larger scale. So if these things are working and government stepping it up, I think it will be a very, very good boost for our country.
Again, I mean, it's a two-way thing. People only look at the representatives, but if the ordinary people have access to market, access to purchasing power. Now, if you go from Nima County, if you really go by your market, see how many waste food we have, plenty, right? Cucumber, watermelon, pineapple, they all rot there, and people are losing. So if we cannot have
farm to market rules,
we're gonna have factories that will transform these other products into so if I brought my cassava is rotting, I end up losing. Do I have another market to sell that cassava to, right? If I brought my pineapple, it's rotting. People will not eat like that. Do I have another means to
do
sell
a pineapple
it to?
juice or something?
Pineapple juice or
Factories
something
that will produce those
so
things.
until we can have various means,
and I think the key word is added value.
Added value.
Add value to what we produce. You can turn cassava into cassava flour. You can turn it into fufu. Like we see frozen fufu here in the stores. You know, you see frozen palm butter. You know, in the store. All these things they can work, but
people just feel like agriculture is just facing big farm. You face a big farm, and the people don't have means to do them.
It's a waste of time. It's a waste of time. But on the flip side, President Barack sounded soft today, but yesterday he was tough in bombing. I think you listened to him talking about his intent to close Western Cluster because they are not helping the people in those areas that they are operating. We will bring you this except he visited that area yesterday, courtesy of Spoon TV. They had this, but it's important that we also share this information with you. He sounded so disappointed in what's happening in that region. And Western Cluster operates between Bombing, Cape Mount, and Wapulu. So the entire Western Belt should be benefiting from what they are doing. You know, but let's listen to President Bwaka on this one.
By the way, I'm telling you, I just met with the lawyer for Western Cluster this morning, incidentally, and I told him we're going to close them down. Minister, let me tell you, if we don't close Western Cluster down, we'll lose the bridges. We'll lose those bridges, and it will be disastrous for this country. And we're not going to sit here to cut because the number of vehicles moving on that road. And I went up the hill the last time. Western Cluster is not mining. They're just taking our resources. And we get no reward for it. I told him emphatically this morning that we're going to close them down. And I'm telling you seriously. We're not going to sit here, people take our resources and leave us. If they want to invest further, let them build a railway. But they can't damage our road and just leave us stranded. So I'm serious. I met the councillor this morning. So I want to thank you all. Thanks for the good work. Let's continue for our country.
I want you to beat the cheerleader.
Nathan, you listen to him there. He, you know, like I said earlier on, he sounded frustrated in the work of the Western Cluster, not living up to what they promised the people, taking the resources from those areas. And he said, if we don't close them down, we're going to lose the bridge, and that's the only bridge linking that area. He was. I know you could see the expression on the face of the president.
I think his comment was too harsh. It was not appropriate at this time. There are different ways you could channel that. It's like a direct threat to an institution. There is something in the collective bargaining agreement. All right, that's his intention. His opinion is not always right. Can we go back to review? Right, maybe in that contract, the rule was given to the people to use and not put in a track. Previous government is continuation, so you cannot be so harsh to the people like that. Go back. What's wrong? If they agree, then you have a genuine reason. And like he said, the lawyers of the company, they know. They're going to review. So I hope his people too are also reviewing that collective bargaining agreement to know what was there, that hey, you have to use the railroad, or if you're using our road, you give us royalty, you have to maintain the road. So we need to know.
Or you have to construct a railroad. And how long did they give them to use the roads until
it's why do they care? They're making money. They don't care. If you give it to them, they're going to use it. Even if you say they should pass in front of the executive mansion and plow the road with the cat machines and other earth moving equipment, they will plow it. They don't care once they make their money. But that's why when you go to agreement, you sign the agreement, then you monitor the agreement. So if other governments,
that's the rule of those we call our lawmakers. What's your oversight, especially those that are from that belt? Senator Edwin Snow, former Senator Rachel Devine, they all signed up to that, and other people. Western Cluster was a huge argument, a huge thing. And we understand that at one time there were allegations that Senator Snow had taken people out of the country to go and negotiate with all the legislature. So, and another question that came to my mind when I listened to the president is, what's the process of terminating an agreement of such that was legislated?
If you don't live by the TOR,
you have to go through the right step in making sure that you are not proceeding the wrong way. But I mean, like he said, he's spoken to the lawyers, and I'm sure the legal people advising the president must be on this, looking into that particular MDA, because it's a whole thing that came through, a concession. It was reviewed, passed by the House, maybe by the Senate, concurred before it became. So there are a lot of things that they will look at, but key on that is that the returns to the people, where they're getting these teams from. What are you doing to maintain the rules? What are you doing? Like similar thing happening with Patawi that we saw. What are those things that are enshrined? What are those things that are enshrined in the agreement? Are the concessionaires living up to their part of the bargain? I mean, it's a huge thing to look at.
Yeah, it's not because President Joseph Boca feels that this is wrong, but hey, did you guys put them in the CBA, the collective bargaining agreement? It's not your personal belief, a personal feeling. It is about what's going to benefit your people and at the same time investors. So if you look at it both ways, they're spoiling the rules, they're providing job too as well, right? So how can we mitigate? It's like a twin mother. You got to lay all each out, but hey, your major concern is your people. But how do you go with it? It's another game that you should look at. She shouldn't sound more like a dictator. And when you start saying it, I will close it down. It's like, hey, this is because it's like you already said it. So
you must start holding consultation with the lawmakers. Start sitting with the people.
Sound like a dictator.
The concession.
Shut it down. No. You can't. This is a civilized society.
You like it's like Mr. Minister, we will shut Western Cluster down. That was his exact words.
You have issues, you go to it, talk to the lawyers, and you go back to your people, your lawmakers, see what's there. And say that's your intent. But if you start sounding like that, we know it's hurtful, but hey, that's
we have to follow the right procedures. Yeah, but it's right here on Diaspora Talk. Like we said earlier on, we're hoping to have joining us from Liberia, Colonel Abraham Kromah. He's the head of the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency. We will be talking about some issues affecting the DEA and some allegations out there on Colonel Kromah and his team. We hope that he's joining us from Monrovia. But also, President Bwaka is expected to leave the country, I understand, this weekend for a visit to the U.S. We don't know yet whether it's an official visit or not. We're still keeping our ears out there to know what is going to be, whether official or unofficial. And I listened to the presidential press secretary this morning talking about, the president is going to shortly, by Friday, make a definite decision on the War and Economic Crimes Court. So we hope that we can follow that as well. He's going to make a definite decision on where he stands after, that joint resolution by the legislature, both houses, is down before him. We understand from Kula Fofana that President Bwaka will on Friday announce a definite decision. And I don't know what it's going to be, but that's something that everyone looking forward to that.
So I mean, that's why people push for. So there's a comment I read from Young Blake Kanga Lawrence, Senate Pro Tem, and something in her statement she wrote after the budget was passed. Few lines. It says, the president got everything he asked for. I was like, so
business as usual.
The president, Senator Yombi Kanga Lawrence, wrote this on her Facebook page, the last sentence in her comment when the budget was passed. She gave all the breakdown of the federal budget, but that last statement, the president got everything he asked for. Whether it's good, whether it's bad,
it's ugly.
Judge it, but he should want everything
he asked for.
So that's something we in the media we need to look at. That what did he ask for? And sometimes they say these things, and it's like it's the business as usual. So if president say XYZ, everything he got, he asked for, he got it. And there are a few things in the national budget. As you know, the budget was passed by the Senate. They concur with the lower house of representatives. Hopefully, we'll be talking to Alfred Johnson on Friday to give us more details on line item within the national budget that was passed. So these are things that happen, and we hope that the government will do all it can to improve the life of its people. But it must be a separation of power. Every branch of government must be able to utilize the power, their offices to scrutinize each other, not just to be a who see who, everybody who is just passed. Because we saw that in previous government. That's why we're pushing for a balance of power. So if a Senate pro tem can use that statement, the president got everything he asked for in the national budget, we are worried. It's alarming to me. I don't know, but I know once you write, it's intentional, it's purposefully to say these kind of things. So we need to look at the budget. I know it's in the favor of the Liberian people, but there are other undercuts. So we need to know.
All right, we need to know, and that's a fair one indeed, because we know in our history, our legislative history, we saw when Madame Saliv and the House of Representatives then on the stewardship of Speaker Tyler went back to back. At the end of the day, she said they took what they took and did not give it to them. Yeah. What were the negotiations? Who are those that negotiating on behalf of the president in the legislature? And I know the pro tem, she's from the rescue mission.
Cyrus
DeLone, senator of Montserrat County. Darlington Borcha Semwe, Danisha Semwe also, and other guys. What Senator Amara Kone is also in favor of pushing for what the president asked for. He been writing a lot these few days. He been writing a lot these few days.
He voted yes for the passage of the budget.
Yes.
748 million in the national budget envelope. He said for 6 million 441,000 increase over President Joseph Boca proposed budget. So they added 46 million over the budget the president asked for. And the issue
we'll be scrutinizing now because our guest is trying to join us. We can't keep in, but let's bring you this before we bring Colonel A.B. Krumah on. Still there in the security sector, May 15 is the deadline for motorcyclists plying the streets of Monrovia. That cutoff time is May 15. But one person who been speaking, is the police director. He been talking about those who are planning protests in support of the motorcyclists, that the police will not relent when it comes to maintaining the peace and enforcing the law. Let's bring you this very short report. After that, we'll welcome our guest, Colonel A.B. Krumah, who's setting up backstage. He's the head of the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency. But this report by me, or you can sound so funny when you do such and you have to roll it up. And of course, a part of this, the new police spokesperson in person of our own journalist, Cecilia Clark, also took over this morning as showing the public of
no more journalist.
She's a former journalist, but yet she's still in that line as a public relations manager for the police. But let's bring you this report from there. We will join Colonel A.B. Krumah, head of the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency. Don't go away. Police Inspector General Colonel Gregor Coleman has sounded a caveat to those planning protests in the name of defending motorcyclists ahead of the May 15 deadline for plying most parts of Monrovia and other areas to proffer better ideas, as the LMP will not relent on enforcing the rule of law where necessary. Colonel Coleman said measures being put into place are intended to protect both motorcyclists and those they carry. He spoke when he unveiled the new spokesperson of the Liberia National Police, Cecilia Clark, on Wednesday.
Is to ensure that safety of the people they're carrying and their very life will be enforced come May 15. To those who have stood up to come out to only guide them in the name of protest, we challenge you. Our doors are open for ideas. This is a society of laws. If you believe that the rights of other people are being infringed on, and the only recommendation that you think that you can give is to protest, then go ahead and try it. But we are saying the doors are open. If you have ideas that are better than what we are proposing, come to us. Let's speak about it. This lawlessness has to end. Protest cannot be the only way out. It cannot be the only way out. And to those who enjoy immunities by the people, and tend to abuse those immunities by coming out, and inciting people. When your action constitutes a breach of the peace, you understand that we are law enforcers, we will enforce the law. So if you have ideas, if you believe, anybody for that matter, my doors are open. If you have an idea that you believe is better than what we're proposing as it relates to the restrictions, for now to be able to we still have, we have for 2 weeks. We're willing to sit down with you and dialogue. If your ideas are better, trust me, we'll incorporate it. But if you feel that you can threaten with protest, and that's the only way, because that's the only thing you understand, we are guaranteeing you that law and order will prevail here in this country. Law and order will prevail. There's absolutely no one that will threaten the state. We have duty to our citizens to protect them. And if we feel that there are measures that need to be put in place to safeguard the integrity of the state, those measures will be upheld. So this is a challenge to each and every one who has decided to lead a protest in the name of standing with the motorcycles. The doors are open. Bring your ideas. Bring your ideas to the table, and let's see if they're better than ours. We'll take them. If you offer an idea that is better than what we are proposing today, we will accept it. But if you feel that protest is the way, I'm saying it for the second time, because nobody will be intimidated here in any way, shape, or form. Absolutely not. We have a duty to protect the citizens of the Republic of Liberia, and we do it without fear, favor, malice, or ill will. The laws of this land will stand, regardless of whatever. It will stand.
The police chief, however, welcomed those he said joining their voices in speaking for justice in Liberia.
And to those who have just somehow found their voices to join the call for to justice for murder, we want to say we hear you. We recognize your call, but we say thank you for now seeing the need to add your voice to the call for the likes of Gifty Lama, Pate Yiswa, the 3 missing boys, Princess Cooper, and all of the other people who died here that we still do not have closure for. Since you have now found your voice, we say welcome to the call, and we encourage you to continue that call for justice.
Also speaking minutes after she was unveiled as the new spokesperson of the Liberia National Police, seasoned journalist Cecilia Clark promised to uphold the public trust as she worked to promote the image of the Liberia National Police.
To be engaging with the media, as you know, my colleagues, that we have been engaging from the Reporters Association aspect, and being now in the place as a law enforcement officer, the spokesperson of the Liberia National Police, I will do my best as it relates to media engagement. I will do my best to give the public trust as it relates to the police relations and the public relations. I will do my best being proactively involved in all activities for the sole image of the police. And this I promise as I will be taking my office. And I urge every one of you to support me in this endeavor, because Liberia is our country and the police is the friend to the public. Not to take much of your time, I just want to assure you that all will be well in Jesus' name.
Cecilia, who previously worked at the Liberia Broadcasting System and served as president of the Reporters Association of Liberia, replaces former police spokesperson Moses Carter, who has been sent to the Personnel Department for reassignment. Cyrus McGee, KMTV, USA. Well, that is right there from the arms of the Liberia National Police. And congratulations again to our own former colleague, Cecilia Clark. And we have joining us now the head of the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency, the DEA, Colonel Abraham Kruman, the man who needs not much introduction. Colonel Kruman, welcome. It's good to have you live here on KMTV. If you can just unmute yourself, that would be better for us. You have to unmute yourself. All right. Yeah. Are you getting us now? Colonel Kruma, are you getting us?
The microphone is not working.
Okay, I'm hearing you right now. I'm getting you loud and clear.
I'm not hearing you.
Oh.
You try.
I think it's his device not getting. Yeah, are you getting us now?
Yeah. Can you call me back in 2 minutes?
Okay.
Konograma, are you getting us now?
Yeah, he will not
So
get
everyone can see, hear you. All right. But I'm not hearing you guys. You can see and hear me, but I'm not hearing you.
Yeah, I think maybe you got
That's some technical problem here.
Yeah, you gotta shut it off.
let me take it off and see whether we can get him back on and this technology, technology and its hiccups, ups and downs, and once you are on, these live and you get a call, you will not get Connor, you getting us now? He's still trying to make some adjustment there.
Yeah, it's on.
He's on. We hear.
Except you have a different technical thing. But I'm not getting this thing through.
It's a former speaker.
You are in the show. Everyone can see and hear you. Well, everyone is hearing, but I'm not hearing everyone.
Oh,
there has to be some technical difficulties.
All right, then I think we'll just try to get him on the. Let's see whether we can get him on the phone because there are difficulties coming in. Well, we will make it work.
He should be able to come.
Yeah, he's not hearing us, and Connor Krama, are you getting me right now?
Hearing you loud right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there should be some issue with from your end because we're hearing you very clearly, and I don't know whether you can join from another device, but if not, then we can roll because of the time. I know you're a very busy man. If you can hear us here, we'll just keep your photograph on the screen, and we can roll as this. How is it with you today?
I'm good. I'm very good. Actually, I'm excited. We just came from the President 100-day deliverable speech, and I think it put me in a very high spirit that we managed to deliver successfully the President's 100-day attempt. And we highlighted in the speech, and that gave us me and the guys that high degree of spirit.
Wow, and that shows that you DA is in the photo.
Oh yeah, DA is in the photo. We are in the photo, and we've been captured and highlighted for our role and our participation in this process.
All right, it's good to have you. It's your first time on the Diaspora Talk. Thanks for accepting to come on in the midst of all of the claims and counterclaims, the fight on this. I mean, against this huge situation in our country of drug affecting our young people. Even some old people are being affected from this. But firstly, you took over a few months ago. Run us through what you met at the DA.
Ooh, wow. We met a very devastating situation at the DA. Basically, first and foremost, where the office is situated in a very dilapidated location, is between the dump site and the sewage, water and sewer sewage deposit site. And then the office is very small, tiny. Tanning and basically everybody just squeezed up in this little area, and as a result, we had it very tough in getting to it. To come in here, for guys who were here to come in here and survive the way they survived, for me, I wouldn't have, to be honest with you. It took me time. Then later on, I got to find out that they have a generator here that can provide a little bit of light. We had to fix the generator. Generator was broken down. We had to fix it to be able to find time to be here. And then besides the structural issue, we do have other issue that has to do with the fundamental layout as to the functionality of the whole setup. We needed instruction, operational instruction, administrative instruction. A systematic approach towards this process. How do we, as a people, try to find a way to actually lead here, teleguide the operation of the DA from this viewpoint? So it was a very difficult situation, but we managed to, through the help of my able lieutenants, we managed to find a way out. Another difficulty we had, because the setup, because there was no much of a broader setup here, and then because the guys were operating with volunteers here, so we had to find a way to build trust into volunteers who had no fiduciary responsibility to actually function. So we had to start to find people to operate with. We had to remove some people and replace them with people that we thought would be trustworthy because of the records that we met here. So we did a lot of structural adjustment. And then from that point, we start to look at the strategic framework. We start to build the strategic framework, which we successfully done. What we're doing now, we're going to do the stakeholder validation, which we are going to put up very shortly, so that the stakeholders that will be part and parcel of our own setup to validate the strategic framework we did. We also have gone to contacted the Human Rights Commission, and they're going to be part and parcel of coming to liaise with the human rights consultant that we have structured for the LDA. They're coming to do that. That will be part of our validation process, so as to provide a way where we can lead in a very organized manner, so that our folks are protected. And the fact that we deal with people on a regular basis, our action will have to be guided in the framework of the human rights procedure. And those are things that we've injected. But on the overall, we had it in a very deplorable situation, but we're gradually trying to build that process. And then we also had a very low morale on the side of the elements here. So we built that low morale with the elements and with the society as a whole. We're trying to build that. And for some reason, we have done some work with the building of the morale, the confidence of the people. We have to build the confidence and do a lot of work as far as the confidence of the people are concerned. So it has been a very tough time. It has been some challenging situation.
Now we saw you hit the grounds running. The name AB Krumah, I remember when I covered the Liberia National Police, then you were one or two. There was a situation with Mary Bro at the circuit court when our cameras were taken away. We came to the office. It was a whole different tussle. and that evening when you yeah. So drawing from that, the public knows the name AB Krumah when it comes to operations, and you hit the ground running. We saw you in different areas. This huge bus indeed. I think it was the Logan Town area that involved that compound with a Nigerian national and all of that. How did you get this operation strictly off the ground and running?
You know, when you are a professional, you basically have a set mindset. That is to making sure that you work within the confines of the term of reference, and then looking at the enormity of the problem. You have to direct and guide your operation based upon that particular framework. And so, the good thing about it, the fighting drugs has not been a strange thing to us. Basically, back in my early days in the LMP, but then the DEA was not structured. I used to be the director of CID. That was the early days of my career. And so the director of CID had the drug section under the director of CID. So most of my work basically structured towards fighting drugs. And then I arrested one of the most successful arrests of drugs here during my days, where I impounded the ADC Alliance for Nigeria. So we took out that record, and we made some friends in the drug war, the NDLA, the Nigeria Drug Law Enforcement Agency, and a few guys in the sub-region. We interacted with them, and we still knew how to develop our informant in the midst of all of the difficulty we had. So we came with our mindset, and we started to develop intelligent officers, and we started to build our niche within this very restricted arrangement. And at the end of the day, we came running to actually capture the process that we captured.
Okay, my Collington Charles is coming in on from the other end.
How you doing, Honorable Kruma? Corner Kruma.
Hey, Nathan, what's up? What's up?
I'm
Corner
good.
Kruma, that's right.
Yeah. What way it take me to become a corner?
Damn, you gotta struggle. You gotta start from the patrol. You gotta start from patrolman, and from patrolman, then you go to corporal, then sergeant, then you go to lieutenant, then captain, major. Then before you become a colonel.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a lot of tough time. I joined the police force when I was 18 years old.
Okay. So my question, my question to you, you say you're a happy man. Did you get what you asked for in the national budget?
No, but I had a meeting with the president this afternoon, and he's giving us assurance that we're going to be good. He will do everything he can to support this process. The envelope that was exhibited was a little bit small. So he wanted us to be patient. He's going to include us in all of his allotment. And what we asked for, we didn't get, but I've spoken to my folks. A lot going to come to our way. Besides what the national budget arrangement gave us, we will find our way to talk to partners so as to make this process a reality. So we happy. I'm not feeling. Well, first when I was called that the budget was passed and they were giving us something less than what we asked for, and I was a little down. When I had a conversation with the president today, it gave me optimism, and I think my folks with me will understand that sooner or later we'll have the chance to actually live up to expectations. So we're there with me.
Can you tell the public what was your ask and around what did you get? What you want to?
Yeah, that's not secret. The national budget is an open budget. But one good thing I do know is that I didn't get the 10 million that I asked for.
Okay.
But something less than $10 million will give us a little bit of difficulties in hiring more people. One of the primary things we did, we put up projects, and the project basically the president pro tem called us yesterday. She's going to include us into that project arrangement, which is going to elevate our budgetary allotment a little bit more. I've not gotten the full detail of what was allotted to us, but I know less than the 10 million that I'm speaking. And I don't want to jinx myself. So I'll wait to see what was written, what was accorded us, and then I'll tell you exactly what. But I'm not too glaring to mean that whatever we asked for were provided to us. But be that as it may, in the midst of the competing priorities, the little envelope that was accorded, we not at the national institution, we're not going to be too over zealous about what we should get. We'll follow the lead of this president that we have a lot of confidence in, and knowing the fact that this president has considered drug as a national health emergency. We have the strong opinion that will be good. I also had the opportunity to speak to the Minister of Health today at the program at the Executive Mansion. She has promised us that once they allot whatever they allotted, whatever that befit the LDA, she's going to provide that to us. So we'll be all right. But just in the immediate term, we have a little bit of jittering, but we'll be good.
So since taking over, have you and your leadership conducted a SWOT analysis of the LDA? And what kind of leadership style are you guys implementing there at the LDA?
And am I going to surely managerial psychology on me?
But you're a leader.
Yeah, but no, that's a good question though. But yeah, the SWOT analysis, basically we will look at the threat and all of what we analyze and the opportunity that was spelled out in the SWOT analysis basically gave us an opportunity to actually tell on the first grade and the assessment that was done regarding the type of people that we are working with. That's what analysis provided us an opportunity to do a change in the operation department, where we brought in a new guy to be the director of operation, the operation chief, to be the deputy to Fediga, which has been a very good thing because they are now working hand in hand with producing the result we want to produce at this point in time. But this is the issue, though.
Not the guy who was to buy your tea and warm your food in the microwave, right?
No, that's a different guy. The problem is, this guy is funny. The guy. Oh man, that's a good one. You got me right there. You got me there. but the problem is, though, the guy who was one my tea and that is just the aide to the director.
Okay.
And it are people who will do those kind of things, even though they have a professional responsibility of making sure that they provide assistance to the director as far as doing those jobs and making sure that the director goes on time. You go to meetings on time, and you basically strategizing with you guys to the little operation. But he has other responsibility that has to do with making sure that if I have a water, I want to drink water, the water, my balanced water, he sees the host, the balanced water. He's the all-round person. That's not that guy.
Okay.
I got the joke. That's not him. the guy who is the chief of operation is the guy who is in charge, who's the 704.
Okay.
Who's the assistant director for operation. And that guy is the one that deputizes the director, the 702. The man who runs the operation department of the year. And so he's been very vigilant, very, very operational, and very resourceful with my man Fediga.
Okay.
And Fediga has been a very good guy who has provided leadership in the operation wing of our department.
Because that's why I asked question of the SWOT analysis, because yeah, that's why I asked that question. If there was
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's why I asked that question. If there was a SWOT analysis conducted from your leadership.
That's what it is. That's what we've done. We've done it, and it produced a lot of results. It gave us an opportunity to know exactly where we are, where we hope to take this organization, what level of threat that we face, as far as the issue of drug enforcement. What are some of the places that we have to go to? What are those hot areas that we have to resolve? We have to redirect our focus on. And because of that SWOT analysis, we basically left and went out to understanding exactly where we have to focus threat towards us and towards the process of enforcement. And so at the end of the day, we found out that the issue of drugs and the fight that we have towards us, the threat that we have, we basically have to look at it from a very holistic assessment point of view.
All right, let's look at our country, Chroma. Liberia is a country with a number of identified border entry points, and there are porous borders across the country as well. What's the strength of the LDA in making sure that your men are present at these areas, not just, the eyes on Monrovia and, urban counties where these things are seen, but how are they coming in? What's the strength of your men in making sure that these areas are closely monitored?
Right now, our men, I can tell you that openly. It's not a fear. We're about 601 people at this point in time, which is going to change with the passage of this budget. We'll have the opportunity to recruit additional people. We have the opportunity to also change the tactics, and as we employ fighting drugs at this point in time. So, and I can assure you, with the kind of men that we're going to put in and the level of training that we're going to be employing, there will be reason to believe that we are going to face the issue head on, because we changing the process you have in going out to decentralizing the function of the LDA. So once it is decentralized, the folks in all of the region, we have region commanders that actually take charge of the very region in a very positive and progressive manner. And then because the LDA is an intelligent driven organization. So we can always hire people outside of the realm. We can have action agents, but they only deal with folks that we have in the LDA, and they will become part and parcel of our operation strength. But we intend to employ the action agent that have been working with us of late, and so that they will have fiduciary responsibility in addressing some of the threat that we have. And then we're also going to be building some other additional departments, institution or section, so to help the function of. And breaking news for you today: we're going to be establishing the money laundering department. That based money laundering coming out of drug sales. We're going to have people directly towards that process, and they are functioning basically so as to address the issue of money laundering. So when you see us bringing people, when you see us having people brought and talking to people about these things, is to manifest that process. Because we had an opportunity to speak to the African Development Bank the other day. We're making strive for those issues so that we can have an opportunity to deal with that particular threat. That's a serious threat to any country. Money laundering and people who has money that they can account for, we do life scale audit as to what is it that you get those funds from. And if you can't justify the source of your income, we have responsibility by the statute that established us to ask you questions, and you have to give us reason why we can hold you as a money launderer. So we're getting there. We'll build it up, and you'll be the first to know.
So how soon do we expect to see Conor Krumah in rural Liberia interacting with his men to boost the morale and give them a clear mandate? And the B to that question is, are you going to be recruiting, dismissing, retraining, reassigning some men?
Right now, I've requested the deputy director for administration to reassess our payroll and look at the payroll. He's been doing that. We've been getting new people. We've been doing background checks on most of the guys that are in uniform right now. Almost everybody in uniform do background check as to what is your competency, why are you here, how you got here, and stuff like that. Once you find out that you have checkered background with regards to crime, with regards to drug dealings, and anything that will be inimical to the survivability of this department, we are going to get you out, and our integrity cannot be compromised by anybody whatsoever. Our life is open book. So we will ask all of our folks that come in to join us to have an open board, open life, so that you are distracted. And we're not going to just allow anyone knows and gossip to define the character of any of our people. It has to be evidence based, and it's not going to be people who are in our country that they're recycling what they wrote about themselves before, and they recycle it into papers and think that that's going to be the narrative that carry people. We're not going to do that. We're not going to encourage that to define, because there are people in our country, I know you know, that just look at you, they define your life the way they want to do the narrative, and then they start to repeat that. I have guys who have repeated narrative of me for almost 10 years now. They're just repeating the narrative. They know their own characteristic, their own caricature of you. They made that to be the narrative that they have, and they're sticking to it. So every opportunity they have, they just print it, they repeat it. Abe Kumar is this, yeah, okay. So 10 years ago, Abe Kumar that, but there can't be any definition as to why, how, who, when. So at the end of the day, we're not going to use that kind of measure to define the role of anybody in the LDA. It has to be evidence-based. It has to be something coming out of reality. We have to have people coming to define that. So that's the kind of situation we're doing to all of our folks out here. And we're getting somewhere. The last time I spoke to the Deputy for Administration, he tells me that we actually hired and outside folks to actually do those assessments for us, and we getting there with.
All right, we getting there by the day. I know we could have a whole long conversation, but the time is running out. But Connor Crowman, let's bring you on to this situation that broke out over the weekend, reportedly at the Royal Grand Hotel, with the head of the Magic Group of companies. A lot of allegation. We've listened to a couple of press conferences from him, alleging that you manhandle him and some of his employees, you and your deputy Fadiga, on the 26th of April. Would you care to tell us about the situation at Royal Grand Hotel?
Did he say, am I handle him? Did you say that? Or you just quoting your own thing?
There are reports that he was manhandled. There were his press conferences where he talked about him and some of his employees being beaten and tear gas and all of that. Pepper spray.
No, you know, I've been chief. You know, this is a serious forum, and I feel like I told the Spring people the other day. There's a serious forum. This dude, for me, I don't want to give him any credence. You did that this guy rebellious approach towards law enforcement, arrogance approach towards law enforcement. For me, I decided not to dignify him because I just asked the guy and miss all of the situation we have. We got kids dying with drugs here. We got people laundering money, people doing all kinds of stuff in our country. We had an opportunity. We have intelligence upon intelligence about folks out here. But some of the intelligence I get, I don't see them. I've not seen them. So I said, okay, let me go over to ask this guy. Let me find out. Let me put the face to the name that this guy is actually sharing around. So I called him up. I said, look, I got a few things that I like to talk about. If you come to me, let's talk about it. He said, no, I don't go to any law enforcement. They come to me. I said, well, this law enforcement man wants to talk to you. We're not going to do it to my office. We're going to do it in a public arena. Just to know that it's not any arrest warrant. It's not any arrest order. It's just an opportunity to have a conversation. And so if he can do that, we'll be fine. But he said he wasn't coming. No, he didn't say he wasn't coming. He started to brag, grandstand. It took 14 minutes and 10 seconds. At the end of the day, he capitulated and he said he was coming. But I told him, well, come 2 o'clock because by 1 o'clock, I'll be going to the masjid to pray. After prayer, prayer is not far. The reason I chose Royal Grand because just next to my masjid. I said, from there, I'll come to you 2 o'clock. And then we can go ahead and have this conversation. It's going to take 10 minutes. So if you want to, we can do that. It's okay, I'll come. So he agreed. In our country, you have right to speak to police officer. You have right. And if you don't want to speak to any officer and you're not under arrest, you don't have to. That's what I put up for him. And when he agreed to come to see us, we said, okay, good. These are successfully bringing somebody to talk to them without putting anybody in custody, without having any custodial relationship. So he agreed to come. So at the end of the day, when we brought him over and he had the opportunity to speak and say, well, my friend, I'm here now. I don't want to talk to you anymore. But he chose to come with 50 men behind him. I'm like, really? So when he sat down, I seen almost 50 guys hanging out behind him. You got 15 people on this side, 20 people on this side. I'm like, yo, I call you to talk to you. It'll be 5 minutes. Why you have all these guys hanging out here? He said, well, I wanted to come here. My people decided to follow me. So, and that's why I'm here. So basically, those are the people I have. I said, but I didn't invite these people here. And so if you have a lawyer, say, my lawyer is here. It's okay. If your lawyer is here, why your lawyer can stay so we can have this conversation? If you want to officialize it. I said, but in fact, I cannot have a conversation with you, with these guys hanging out here. What we do, since you're officializing it, let's take it as an official invitation. And you come to the police, you come to the DA office by 10 o'clock tomorrow, 10 o'clock Monday, with your lawyer, so we can discuss the situation. I will write you officially what I need from you. So you don't have to write, will come. I said, okay, fine. Come over to the DE office. We are loyal because I can't conduct any kind of conversation under the circumstances that you've exhibited here. So he said, okay, fine. If you can't talk here, that's fine. So the situation, the invitation was canceled. And then he decided to come and see me Monday. His lawyer shared his information with me. And then that was it. And then he left. But then the guys he brought to him were talkish, put up belligerent attitude. The posture was bad off. And so Fatty got information because I was there with only one person. This is how genuine, sincere I was. Only one bodyguard was standing with me. I just left the mosque. So he decided to put up, people decided to put up all kinds of attitude, all kinds of belligerent, and they became vitriol. And their expression was far outside of this world. I'm like, really? And so we found out there's a guy there who was recording my conversation, videotaping me. And then, unfortunately for them, there was another Liberian sitting on the other side of the table that felt that he was being recorded in the video that was recording. So the guy said, no, you recording me. You can't be recording me and having conversation. You cannot record me. And then the kerfuffle became a little loud. And then I went out to the guy that said, give me your phone. He had a phone. I said, this conversation will finish, then I'll give you a phone to him. At the end of the day, when we got through, I gave him back his phone. And then they all walked down. But in the process of going down, they became very belligerent. They became very vitriol in their expression. And then I remained up. I was drinking my coffee now. I remained upstairs. But the guy had come there to rescue when he was told that you had about 50 people there with me alone sitting there. So in that process, the guy come to me and said, gee, what happened? I said, nothing. This dude was invited. I wanted to have a conversation with him, but then these are the things you see. I said, but the meeting is canceled. You guys are leaving. So, okay. So the guy walked with them to go outside. And then when they went outside the gate, and then they became more violent. And then they have the video to prove. And then the owner of the building, the owner of the hotel came to them and asked them out. But then the guys were refusing to go out. And from that point, the belligerent attitude continued until they reached the parking lot. They started to attack the DA officers there. The video also that was recorded by a neutral person can validate that claim. And in that process, when they start to attack this guy physically, and then the guy decided to disperse the crowd. We don't have weapon, we don't have gun, we don't have non-lethal weapon. The non-lethal weapon was tear gas, will gas them, and they disperse the crowd. And this guy, I don't know, he got 2 Street or two something. I don't know what the heck his name is actually. So they took him out of there, and then he went home. And then they went wherever they went. So when they went out, he comes back on the street with almost 120 guys on the main road, blocking the road instead of looking for AB Krumah. When they know exactly I'm at the LDA office, they didn't come here, but they start blocking the road, looking for, disturbing the peace of the place. And we have the video to prove as well.
So will you be waiting? Have you let that video out? Will you be waiting to share with the public to see exactly what happened?
Oh, sure. No, sure. I'll ask our public relation people to share that video with you as well. Since I have your link now, we'll do that. That would be a privilege share because you'll be the only person.
And Colonel Krumah, do you regret hosting that meeting at that location, especially when you know that that's where dignitaries, go for major meetings and different stuff, and with the fact that this guy, according to you, came with a huge number of his people with him?
Chief, like you said, dignitary can have meetings there. I've had 5 or 6 meetings there with people of concern, people of interest, and they come in there. We talk about whatever their interest was, whatever my concern was. They go to the NSA. I've had meetings with people there. The police intelligence have had. Everybody can have meeting anywhere. I've had meeting in the park. I've had meeting different places. I have a meeting in the vehicle to find out from somebody what it is that they're doing. We have meeting in our safe houses. We have meeting in different areas. So to say regret what? I didn't invite Turks to come disturb the people hotel. That was not my person. And I didn't know that this dude were coming with 50 people in the place. If I had known that, I would not have called the meeting there. And the fact that he came with those folks, it is for me a surprise situation, but these guys never cease to amaze people. So to say I regret hosting the meeting, I've had several meetings there. It's not a surprise situation. It's a situation where you fell short of expectation. Yes, I fell short of expectation. The goal achievement was misled, was distorted. But no, I will have meeting there any day. I'll meeting in voting, anywhere we have meeting. I'm a point. You can have private meeting of that kind, one or two person. Once you clarify the person, and this was an opportunity for me to see this guy's face. I'll put in the face to the name because I've seen this dude before. I didn't know he was the one. She came in there, I said, "Oh, you are the one," and that was for me a better thing for me. At least I've had opportunity to put face to this guy's name who has been shared, who intelligence has been shared for more than 5%.
And, is the intelligence proving anything from what you saw or what you keep in tap on?
Well, that is something left for my investigator to prove. We are going through that meticulously, and painstakingly we're going through whatever we've seen the face now. We're now going to be building our case, and you'll be told in due course. But for now, we know exactly who we're dealing with. We know what we're dealing with. We know what are some of the things that we'll be addressing.
And that exactly, people will say, shows you what you're going to be dealing with, like you said. And in that line, with what you saw, the scene that was created, what's your own level of cooperation with the police in making sure that when these things are out, they can be on the standby to help you out, knowing that you are not armed, like you put it, non-lethal you carry, and you could be at risk in several instances.
I agree. When anything happened, I put a call to the director of police. And I told the director of police what they were doing. They were marching the streets. I alerted the director of police about them. And so the director knows now. When I was there, my father left his phone on and gave instruction for them to do something about it. So credit to the director, they took action to addressing the issue as they were. But the bottom line is, we now know exactly the kind of guy we're dealing with. He's a showman, very, very arrogant in his flamboyant, in his perception, in his attitude. But you know what? I've dealt with those kinds of people in my career. My 35 plus year career, I've dealt with guys like him both in the States and here. So I know them when I see them, and so I'm not perturbed by them. It's just that guys like you who are professionally built, you're giving him credence and granting interviews. And my point is, grant interview to this guy to prove that he's what? Because this guy has been, you're giving this guy a status that he doesn't deserve.
No,
He's a guy who put a post up, Bill, according to him. That's his job. I gave him that kind of guy credence for what? He said he's a musician wannabe. The musician wannabe. Come on, guys. You guys are too professional for this kind of guy.
Let me just provide some information. For us in the media, we give voice to the voiceless. We give voice interviews to people who have issues. So
and that's why we created this opportunity for Konokroman to speak out as it relates to that, because
and you know your explanation just now paint another picture, because when you just hear from one side, it gives you just that notion from what you just said, because people are like, why will Krumah invite this man to the Royal Hotel? And you just give two reasons why. So the public will be the judge. So little things matter. Sometimes misinformation, disinformation in our Liberian society is crippling our society. And people like you sometimes who have sense, who have experience, it is good. We're not giving them credence, but the issue, you are speaking to the issue, and which I really admire. You spoke to the issue.
No, Steve, I just being facetious, but I mean, it is something that you guys do. you guys are professional and you try to get. I mean, I was just being facetious right now. I'm not saying you're not doing the right thing. I mean, but at the end of the day, that's the story, and it can be validated by video footage.
And we hope that we get those videos so that we can, let it out to our public.
Yeah, the conversation I had with him, it was long, and that's the way to get. If I can get all the criminals or all of the person of interest, if I can get a person of interest to come to talk to me from that tactics that I learned in my investigative school, I will be a very Superman. And I will teach it to my students in one of my criminal justice classes, that when you're dealing with somebody who you don't know, you use tactics to get them to talk to you. But the aftermath, I didn't expect this guy, who is a clean guy, according to him, to come to a conference, a meeting, and then with a bunch of talk.
They may say he was afraid of you, my man. You want to plan something that God show him.
And then he goes to Spoon. He goes on Spoon and start to malign my character. And I'm afraid Ibi Kumar has been killing people around here. And they're kind of loose talk. I said, dude, what is this? What is this guy? On national radio, you're accusing another guy of killing. So I'm not above the law. And that's what I was telling you. Because folks have the tendency of putting this kind of narrative, and then they just look at you based upon your posture, and they just build those kind of caricature. And then you are defined by that, by some other folks. So when they come, just recycle it. They just talk about it. They talk about it for 10 years. They've been talking. I wonder, very reputable people in different circles look at Ibi, why are you so fearful? I'm just a very serious-minded guy when it comes to achieving the objective of protecting this country. And I do it within the confines of the law. And when I was 102, you saw me combating armed robbers. When I came back from school, I saw people with wasaba, whatever they call them, with cutlasses, cutlasses trying to mean people. The role we played in eliminating that is clear. Were done within the confines of the law. We saw armed robbery going on the rise here. The role we played in reducing that is there. The records can show. Records are there. And then we talk about motorcyclists, the guys who were using the motorcycle. Now, by the way, 95% of the motorcyclists are good people. The 5%, those are the guys that were doing this passenger 57, and those guys are jacking people, killing people along the line. Those are the people that we're dealing with. So we organized an operation and addressed the issue of the no-go zone. And we're very vehement, very strategic, very focused in achieving that objective. And that became the simple action that the police embossed up in recent time. And then we're even called to Ghana, the Kofi Annan Institute, to serve, to provide best practice knowledge. And at the end of the day, we recorded most of the folks around here, the Guinean calls. I didn't have the opportunity to go to Guinea, but I went to Ghana. And basically, now as we are right now, the drug issue, when we took over the drug issue here, amidst all the limited resources we had, which at the time was $100, $111, were being distributed in the slum and in the low-down community. Today, push has climbed up to $250. So for us, that's a barometer to show how effective the situation has been. We reduce the supply in the market. Now we're dealing with the importer and the guys who are trafficking across the border. Because of the porous nature of our borders, we have not been able to eliminate them completely from circulating around here. But we are now identifying that, and we've established different strategic point of view as to how to get them. Through a technical arrangement we're doing, we're going to be directly reaching out to folks around.
Yes, Konakoma, I know, like I said, we hope that we can always have you as the situations surrounding the fight against drug, arise. But just before we leave you, one key thing is the issue of rehabilitation. You're fighting to get this off the street, but the streets are left with these people who are highly affected. I will look on the page of your deputy, Fadiga. He's employing a very strange approach, with these guys. What's your plan as it relates to rehabilitation? What are some of those institutions that you're currently working with?
Well, whatever plan that Fadiga exemplifying is the national institutional plan, just so you know.
Mhm.
Number one. Number two, the issue of rehabilitation is something that we focus on because it is enshrined in our statute that establishes us. So basically, we have developed a framework that will deal with the folks that we have there. That's one of the things where I've had some concern with the police going to raid them for where they are. They will remain there. We manage them until we can establish that rehabilitation center where we can pick them from there. We'll continue to manage them where they are. We just encourage other security apparatus to continue to do what they do in fighting the aftermath of that person in there. But if we talk them from there now, if we displacing them because they'll be going to another community and survive. These guys are sick people. They need to be rehabilitated. We have two set of people in our own work. We have the judicial client and we have the rehabilitation client. The guys that you have there in the Vera Ghetto are the rehabilitation client that we are dealing with on a regular basis to get them into some rehabilitation structure so that they go through detoxing, they go through the whole realm yard of rehabilitation, engagement, psychotherapy, they engage them psychologically to actually look at their psyche. And then from there, they go straight down to ensuring that they have this thing, life skill training. After the life skill training, I'm in a meeting, I'll call you back. In the life skill training, they basically found themselves in addressing most of the issues that we have so that they are placed back in society to be a very functional member of society again. So the folks out there have not been forgotten. This president is so much fixated in making sure that they are rehabilitated to the point where he has directed today the Vacuum Center are going to the rehabilitation center in Bento to go and look at the progress that has been made. Money has been allotted in this budget to start to address that part. So we are focused in making sure that agenda, the aspect of rehabilitation is addressed. Because our role would be to get these guys. What we've done in our 100-day deliverable, we have digitized the person of these guys around the country. And so we'll have an appreciable amount of these guys' persons. And then we can now tell you, look, in this ghetto, or in this environment, these are the people we have here. These are the people we have here. We got them by numbers, by picture, by fingerprint. That's what we are working on right now. At the end of the day, we have the strong opinion that we can provide you a portrait. I'm one person, and my guys with me, my deputies, and the guys that we brought on board, I convinced that we can win this war. We can rehabilitate this country, yes.
All right, Konakuma, time is fast spent, but in a nutshell, before we leave you on this edition of the program, Diaspora Talk, if you have to talk to the people directly, the Liberian people, those at home, those abroad, what will be your message as we take leave of you?
I'll tell the folks that this is an humongous and Herculean tax. But since Herculean tax are fought by Hercules, we've developed the mindset of the folks that we have here to meet this situation with valor. A chance to play our role as a national institution responsible to fight drugs. And so we have the strong opinion that with the support of the folks in the diaspora and the folks that support this government, folks that support this president, and then support the Liberian people right to live. They will be supportive of the LDA so that we can address the issue. And we have a country where almost 1.1 million people on drugs, almost 20% of our population on drugs here. There's no household here that would boast that they do not have an affected drug problem. So we have the strong opinion that our people will help. We have to reduce this process. This is the process that all of us must have to help to reduce this process. I've gone to in our engagement pattern, we've gone to the Methodist Church, the First Methodist Church. We're going to religious-based institutions so as to address these problems. We're going to the masjid, going to the madrasas, we're going to the Bidari schools. We're going to schools around the world, around the country. Lofa County, we're there. We're in Maryland. We're going to meet our folks where we can meet them. We're going to the county meet, the football field, where we can address this problem.
All right, Colonel Abi Kroman there from Monrovia. It's good to have you, and I'm sure you're going to have those messages in the local vernacular for our people across the country.
Yes, indeed. Our community outreach folks are putting these things together today. Today at the launch of Digitizing Liberia, there's a lady there. I don't know where she came from. She said, "Whoop!" She took up our jingle, and that's how we want to do it. We're gonna go to ERBC, we'll go to the World Network, and this time we're asking you to please promote the issue of fight against drugs to our people. Let our people know in the diaspora that we have a war to fight here. Whatever assistance that can be accorded and that can be sent for the LDA, we can do it because our country need them. We need all of the help we can get. We just moved to a new building, but then we just actually earmark a new building. We are now going to be doing the reconstruction of that. Refurbishing of that building, so to provide you with a very suitable place to work. And we're sending out a clearing call to all of our people, both in the diaspora and in Monrovia, in Liberia. Or if you can't do that, all you do support us morally. Give us the support that you can give so that we can move this country. We can stop the killing of our people. Our children are dying. We have all that we can do now is to help to stop them to die. And I'm very hopeful. Having spent half of my life in the States, I know folks in the diaspora, I know exactly what we can do. Let's do our best to stop this menace from killing our people further. Thank you very much.
All right, Colonel Kroman, thanks for stepping aside from your busy schedule to talk to us. But I believe this is a part of your responsibility as well to alert the public on what's going on with the DEA. That's the LDEA, and we hope to always have you. You got our lines. If there is something you need to let the public know about your operations and what you're doing, always feel free to reach out to us. And we're looking forward to have that video soon.
Thank you very much. And again, as I've always said to your folks, it was a pleasing pleasure to be in this time around in the ears of your listening public. I didn't have the chance to visualize this, but
yeah, we hope the next time we can have it much better. But thanks for doing this.
The pleasure is always mine, sir.
All right, Colonel Abraham Kroman, he's the head of the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency, the LDA. They're, filling us in with operations of the LDA, the challenges where they are. And you heard him clearly. The fight is on, but it cannot be done with all the support of the people, the Liberian people at home and abroad, financial support and all of that. But Nathan, that's how we wrap it up on this edition. Anything you want to chip in? We're already out of time.
We're just seeing Senator Nathaniel McGill from Margibi County. It's saying that the budget that was passed, the CH Rennie Hospital got a good amount of money in that for the renovation there at the CH Rennie Hospital. He said, according to Senator McGill, Margibi, I'm trying to get the figure, but the CH Rennie Hospital will be rebuilt from a money pump into the national budget. 600,000 United States that has been secured for the commencement of the much needed construction of the CH
And that hospital was damaged a few years ago by a fire incident, and it remains, one of the major one in Magibie County. We hope that it will work and things will be on course. But until Friday, when we are here with another edition of Diaspora Talk, thanks to all of you who follow, thanks for watching, thanks for being here always. Cyrus McGee, Nathan Charles, we'll see you around on Friday by the grace of the Almighty God. But we're getting breaking news that Bassa is out. Bassa County is out. Congratulations to River G County. Until then, have yourself a wonderful time. Bye-bye.
When the issues of Liberia hit the news,
What is it that we, the Liberian people, want?
the Liberian communities in the diasporas are not left out. That's why Diaspora Talk is back on your screens on KMTV.
In fact, the United Party is not cohesive.
Be it social, political, economic, and other issues affecting Liberia and the diaspora Liberian communities.
I did not expect to even make it to Hollywood.
Join Cyrus McGee and Nathan Charles every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, live on KMTV, Facebook, and YouTube.
I want to be arrested in the midst of my people.
As they discuss the issues, blending the voices from Liberia and the diaspora Liberian communities.
The Liberian Business Association in the Diaspora should be used as a vehicle for economic development in Liberia because no country can develop without a diaspora impact.
For sponsorship, call cell numbers 612-806-5896, 816-433-3979, or better still, email us at usakmtv@gmail.com. Diaspora Talk.